What did Tudor women use for their periods? Throughout history, girls and women have endured the dreaded monthly visitor, and this was no different for Tudor women, although Tudor women actually had fewer periods than women do today. And there are several reasons for this, one of which being that women in the Tudor era just reached menopause earlier. Another reason is that due to poor nutrition and hard work, the women's body would have less body fat. And without the right amount of body fat, the reproductive system slows down and menstruation ceases. Another reason is that women in the Tudor era were more often pregnant than women are today. This is due to lack of contraception, and in the cases of noble ladies or queens, having children was literally their duty. So they would just be pregnant as often as they could be. And yet they all still had periods. So what did they do when they did? So essentially the Tudor woman had two choices, one of which was to create a makeshift pad. These pads were made out of scraps of fabric or rags, and this is where the term being on the rag apparently comes from. The fabric that was used was most often cotton, since this absorbed the most fluidity and it was more comfortable than the alternative of, for example, wool. But Tudor women didn't really wear underwear, so how did they keep the rags in place? So there's some archaeological evidence that shows that some Tudor women used a panty-like garment to keep the rag in place during their menstruation. But an alternative option to the rag was a makeshift tampon, which was quite literally a twig wrapped in cotton fabric, which the woman would insert like a tampon. But whether they chose the homemade rag or the homemade tampon, Tudor women still worried about leaks and stains. And this is why red was a popular color for petticoats. Red was not only fashionable and decorative, it was also really functional to disguise the messes of the menses.